Hello everyone, I'm Troublesome Trucks and welcome to the first video of December of 2025. So today we're going to be doing another episode of A Second Chance. I believe this is episode 5 of the series. It's been like about a month or something since the last episode where I think we did Percy and did a bunch of unboxing and reviews and stuff, but I recently got some more broken engines to fix in addition to the ones I already had before, so got a pretty good stockpile now, so I thought we should start doing some more of them. So yeah, today up we are going to be doing an engine that I just got from a lot like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this is a TrackMaster 2009 era Salty. So as I said, he got in the lot of a bunch of other engines. I got like 20 of them or something, and when we tested them, there's like 4 or 5 that kind of worked, and Salty was not one of them though. So today we're going to try and see what the problem is and see what we can do to fix them up. So yeah, so quickly we'll do a quick overview of Salty and see how his cosmetic condition is, but most of the engines in the lot were pretty good on the outside, but then the inside was where they had a couple of problems. So pretty good up front. Might be a little bit of dirt up here by his hazard stripes. Then on the side it looks pretty clean and not too many chips or anything, so that's all looking good. And the back as well, pretty much all around. It will be a common trend for most of these engines from that lot. Underneath he still has his traction tires and stuff. Feels like his wheels are kind of stiff, so I don't know if that's something in the gearbox or what, but they don't seem to be moving as freely as they should, but maybe they're sometimes might be rubbing on the step ladders or something. I'm not quite sure, but seems a bit interesting. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Maybe the axle is bent a little bit, I can't quite tell, but yeah, this is what we're going to be dealing with today. So let's quickly get his cover off and we'll do a quick test to show you what he was doing before. So last time there wasn't really anything, so I don't think this will be any different. So we got a battery in and nothing happening. Give a few taps and and you can hear a faint noise from the motor. I don't remember that doing that before, but if you listen carefully, you can hear a faint squealing, and maybe you did that before, but I know there were some engines who did that, and I was kind of curious because like it sounds like the motor is trying to go, but it's not able to. So I don't know if it just there's something jammed up in the gears that's causing it to stall or something, but should be an interesting thing to find out. So yeah, his battery terminals are pretty clean, so it doesn't seem to be a corrosion issue, at least on the surface level. So we'll have to dig deeper to find the root cause of the problem. So yeah, to start with, we need to undo these 2 triangle screws that hold this back cover that covers the screw to the motor. So you need a triangle screwdriver to get those out. So got one here, and try not to lose the screws in the process. So gonna get that one out and move those to the side. There's the cover that we need to get out. Maybe you should go in a little bit closer. So this piece was covering this screw that we needed to get to. So now we can try and take that apart, and now we can get the motor unit out, then eventually get to the motor and stuff. So yeah, we'll have to see what's going on there. I'm just trying to feel if the wheels are stiff. Maybe a little bit of oil will help or something. Just trying to figure that out, or maybe it'll just be fine once he gets going. But then I don't think we've done a motor unit like this in this series yet. So there's a screw here, here, and on this side to open this motor unit up. Then we can get the motor out and then probably do a bit cleaning. We'll test the motor, then some re-lubrication, add some grease and stuff just to make sure everything's going smoothly. And then that might be it, but wondering if there might be a bigger issue if that's going to happen. So the motor is actually turns, but it's kind of stiff. Oh, and the gear just slid off, so that's interesting. Is the motor is actually kind of feels like it's seized up, so I mean, kind of hard to get a grip on because a smooth surface, but try and now it is kind of turning, but it's way stiffer than it should be, so that's interesting. It's I don't know if you can tell, but I guess the motor's like seized in place. Maybe it's got some water in it, rusted or something, but I don't see any of that. But I don't know why else it would be seized like that, and that might be the case for some of the other engines too. But quickly, I got this little battery pack I got from Amazon. So it has these two wires, so if we connect them to this battery thing, we should be able to test and see if it works. And it looks like no, just make sure I got a thing going. And it doesn't seem like we got any noise or movement whatsoever. I thought alright, maybe that's just scraping the wire, but yeah, it seems like it's kind of seized up, so we're gonna have to try and unfreeze that. So yeah, that might be interesting. We could maybe take the motor apart. We could maybe try and just put a little oil or something on the outside and see if that frees it up. We could maybe try and swap it for a new motor. And yeah, I'm not quite sure. Wasn't quite expecting the motor just to be kind of seized like that, but see the other parts. I'll have to get a new gear because that one just came right off, so probably not too good. And might have made him noisy too if he actually did run, but we kind of got a little bit of old oil or grease right there. It's kind of shiny, so we'll have to clean up all these gears as well. So we got a paper towel, so just have to go through this. I won't do all of this on camera because not too exciting, but you just have to clean everything and get ready for some fresh stuff. So yeah, I'll quickly do that, a little bit of cleaning, and then we'll turn our attention back to the motor. Alright, so I got the parts cleaned up pretty good, got most of the old stuff off there and all the dirt and stuff, so once it's cleaned to your liking, you're pretty much good for that. So I'm not quite sure about this motor, but I got this little bottle with just a bit of oil, so I'm just going to put like a tiny drop on both sides, not too much because you don't want to like flood the motor and stuff, and it's probably not the most ideal way to do this, but I just want to try and put a tiny bit on there just so we can get this loosened up. So try and wiggle it around a little bit, and okay, now it kind of felt like a little jolt there, so I think it was kind of stuck on something, but now it seems to be moving and actually to turn in, so yeah, I might be able to see that. So actually just gonna combat and clean away a little bit of the excess oil just to make sure nothing gets down into the motor and too bad and causes it to burn out or whatnot. I guess burnout maybe not be the right word, but fail or whatever. So we kind of got it moving now, so let's try and spin that and make sure it's freed up, and then I guess we'll give it another test and see if it's gonna have enough power to actually get Salty going, or if we'll have to replace it or whatnot. So excuse me, but let's battery pack again and let's try it. And now it is working now. Alright, I just was trying to kind of put a little bit of resistance on it to test its strength, and it seems like it's doing pretty good now, so I don't really know why. Maybe it just hadn't moved in a long time, and maybe a bit of moisture got in it and kind of jammed it up, or just the shaft just got stuck in a weird spot, or a tiny bit of dirt got in there and caused it to seize or something. But yeah, that's a little bit interesting, and that might be the same problem we have with some of the other engines, so we'll have to see if that's the case when we get to them. But it seems to be moving now, and I guess we'll try and put them back together and see how it goes. I think it should be strong enough, but if it's not, then I guess we'll have to take them apart once again and replace the motor, which I'll probably have to do for some of the other engines coming up, but we'll see if Salty will be the first one or not. So I got this little axle gear to replace the one that fell off, because I think the one on there was kind of shot anyway. So got this on, so got these off of eBay or something, but I don't know the exact dimensions, but they're pretty good for this, and they're kind of a little bit tough to get on, so you just have to usually like to use a fork and just slide it into position, not too far back. You want to, I don't know why to put tape on the motors, it's kind of sliding off, maybe to dampen vibrations, but you want to have a little gap between it and this piece on the back of the motor here. So yeah, make sure it's not all the way, just a little gap, just so it's not too tight on there, but make sure it's good. And now you can see it is spinning, so that's good. Let's try another test just to be sure. I'll make sure I got a good connection, I guess. There we go. Alright, so sounds pretty good. I might need a little run-in, but I guess we'll start putting it back together, and then maybe we can do that later. So yeah, let's put the motor back in there. So sits in like that. Then we need this gear here, and slide that into place. Make sure, yep, that seems to be turning good as well. And I guess we'll add a little bit of white lithium grease, just to make things a little bit smoother, help it out. Not too much, so let's put a little bit on a toothpick here, and then we'll slowly add a little bit. Don't need to spread around too good, because it will do that once it starts going, but just a little bit there. There's actually, maybe this was causing some trouble for, I thought I'd clean this up, but if you see, there is actually some grime, so maybe that's what was causing the wheels to run kind of stiff. I don't know if that was stuck to the table or if I just didn't quite get that good enough. It might also be good to use a toothbrush for some of these cases, because that'll get into the grooves pretty well and clean it up. So just run through it again with a paper towel and make sure that's all good, because that could caused some trouble there and made him not run it very well or at all. Might have jammed it up enough, so that could have been bad. So glad we caught that. So make sure all the pieces are extra clean before you check it. So now, oh whoops, now we can put this back in, and once it kind of cleaned off that other side, so I need to put a bit more on there. And now this side, there's still another piece that's managed to slip back on there. So we dropped the gear, so I'll have to get that, make sure don't lose it, and got a little hair stuck to it. So not ideal, but we're gonna get there. So let's maybe work close over the table instead of over the ground, and that might do better. So once again, make sure didn't quite get to all of it, just make sure it's coated but not swimming in it. So just a little bit there. And now we need this other gear, and double check this one as well to see if there's any dirt on there. I think that's good. So make sure you have the spring, that it doesn't spring away, because that could be problems, because you do need that. So very careful with that, and add some to this side and this top part. And again, not too much, just the right amount. And there is this smaller gear that we do need to add just a little bit to as well, even though they do contact each other, but good there. So I think that should be a good amount there. So got that on. So that's what the arrangement of the gears should look like. Make sure once again you've got that spring, everything's clean. Just check the back side of this as well, and inside as well too, but goes without saying it, but just a reminder. So we got that now back together, so we can add the screws back to this side. I got a bit of grease making the screws stick to my fingers, but would maybe help to have a magnetic screwdriver or something, or a little parts tray to keep your screws in so they don't go everywhere. We'll put these two in, and then we'll have to put the switch on. So got this, got also that cleaned up, make sure there's not any corrosion. If I can get it on this side where it connects these two tabs, so make sure everything is clean once again. And I think the screw make sure I'm not getting them confused. So we got another one, and put the switch there, and just hold it on the other side and screw it in. And these are all Phillips on this. The only triangle ones were the ones that will hold in this plate on. So yeah, just remember that. So now we have the motor all back together. The switch is working. Without the spring, this won't spring back up, and that won't run very well. So put the battery in, and let's try it again. And we got it working. Not too noisy, and it seems to have some strength. Let's try and put a little resistance on it. Still going, so maybe you'll let it run just a minute there, just to kind of get it going, because might not have run for a little while. So just make sure it's all smooth. Let's make sure this axle gear and stuff is clean. And we'll put a little bit of grease on that, because this does connect to the motor, which then drives the whole thing. So just a little sprinkling of grease on here, and we'll have to check and see if it free rolls well, because otherwise that might be an issue. Might put a little bit of oil on the front wheels or something just to see. But if you need to make sure, if you take the wheels out, make sure the gear goes back on the left side. Well, you have to find out when it aligns with it, but just something to keep in mind as well. And then make sure this tab hooks in under this front part. And we got there. Find this screw, and we can put that back in. And don't over tighten the screws, just make sure it's snug. So switch is working there as well. Try that, and it does actually seem to be free rolling well. Maybe it was just during the gears and we got that. And then also the fresh grease probably helps as well. So move this stuff and just make sure, don't apply too much weight, and just see if it rolls good, which it does seem to be. So that's good. I guess maybe you can just add a tiny drop of oil just here if you want to, and just to make sure the front wheels move as well and all that. And yeah, they seem to be good. So I think we can now add this back part on. Make sure the coupling's still in there, and it just holds it, goes back on like so. And we'll put this screw in. So screw one, it's gonna stay. This, I guess this screwdriver is a little bit magnetic, and it sometimes causes some problems. So get one screw on, and the other one might have rolled away. That's great. Okay, there it is. That's why I should probably get a parts tray, but we're just doing this off the whim. So got that, and I think that's good. Final check, and we'll put the battery back in, and then we'll put his cover back on and make sure it's lined up. And I think that might be all. So yeah, I think salty might be done. So yeah, here's a final look. Actually, now the thing's on, it's still a little bit stiff. I'm not quite sure if it's I feel like sometime on one of mine this side rod was kind of clashing with the stair rod. I'm not sure if that's a common thing, but yeah, now it doesn't quite roll as well. So we'll maybe do a quick test on the tracks and see if that needs to be rectified. Yeah, that's he's kind of jerking. Okay, now he's kind of seized again. So I think almost looks like shell is kind of bent inwards. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I think we might need to try and sort that out quickly before we can actually get him going again, but yeah, I'll have to figure out that quick. Alright, so it's now a minute or two later, so I just, so you can kind of see the little area here. I had to check a little bit, cut away at that piece just because I thought the piece was a little bit too close to the wheels and side rods and stuff. So I think I had to do this with one of my other salties and stuff. I think feels like the shell might be slightly moving inwards too, so I think that kind of contributed to it as well. But yeah, I think even from the factory, these are just like a little bit too close to the wheel, so I had to just kind of cut a little bit and file away at it. So make sure you're careful when doing that. I had to use a file and some stuff, so yeah, I just did a tiny bit of that, so there's just a little bit more clearance for the wheels to move. So now if I can just put the shell on it, now you can see that there's a little gap. Maybe if it'll focus, but right here there's a little bit of a gap that now the wheels can move through. So now it's rolling quite a bit better, just a little bit, but you can see now moving quite well. A little bit jam up. Okay, whoops, drop that again, but it's not screwed down. But once again, okay, and then so it's all good and it rolls. So try it again, and now it goes. So and it still goes, but and then it feels like it might be a little bit weak, but I think we'll try it on the tracks and just see how it does with pulling a load, and then think it might be good. But maybe in one day in the future you might have to replace the motor, but I think it still has enough life in it left for now. So yeah, we'll screw them up, and then we'll take them over the tracks for a test drive. Well, I meant test run, but I just realized that the screw actually fell out. It might have been when I dropped it. There's actually a little washer here that holds the screw in so it doesn't fall out. When the fake Donald and Douglas I got, they didn't have those either, so that's why their screws fell out. But you can see this little washer here, plastic one, and it's screw's supposed to go through this hole here and come out the other side, and then this washer is supposed to thread around and then prevent it from just dropping out. So that might have been when I kind of just dropped down the ground for a second ago, but now you can see it holds in place, so now you won't lose the screw. So I'm quite sure when that happened, probably might have saw it, but now Salty can go back together once I put his battery back in. So now for a test run. Alright, I got Salty on this little test track here, so it's kind of like an octagon shape, I guess. It's pretty basic, but should be enough just to give Salty a few laps and see if he's going. And then I got these slide-in door vans. So I thought that'd be a nice train for him to pull it. So on 3, 3, 2, 1, let's see if he can go. And there he goes. He is moving. Alright, I think we'll stop Salty there. So yeah, there is Salty. So guess I didn't really do a final overview, but there wasn't really much to fix on the exterior. I guess there's kind of those little marks, but I think those are fine. So yeah, there is Salty now, pretty much repaired. The motor still sounds a little bit off maybe, but it is working for now. But I will keep an eye on it like the other Thomas we did and make sure it stays working, but we might need to replace it eventually. But seems to be working for now, so it's much better than he was at the start anyway, so that's some progress there. So yeah, a bit of an interesting one with Salty, the jam motor, and then had to fix the stuff by step ladders, and then almost lost a screw. So yeah, a bit of an interesting one for Salty here, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. So yeah, I've been doing kind of simple repairs, but do have some bigger projects coming up. I just need to get enough time to work on them. So yeah, yeah, and I guess until next time, well, it might be another couple weeks or something, maybe sooner, but yeah, until next time for a second chance. So it looks like Salty has been given a second chance. Till next time, this is Troublesome Truck signing out. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.